The top 15 highest paid female athletes of 2025 have been revealed, and on the very top of this list is none other than Coco Gauff.
Coco Gauff didn't just win trophies this season, she became the richest female athlete in the world, transforming from a promising teenager into a global superstar faster than anyone expected. As soon as the news broke, attention immediately turned to one person, Aryna Sabalenka. In a rivalry this intense, success isn't just celebrated, it's measured, and fans were quick to notice Sabalenka's reaction or lack of one. The tension, the silence, and the unspoken message sparked instant speculation. Coco may have claimed the crown, but what followed left Sabalenka stunned, with many saying she had just been humbled in the biggest way possible.
Coco Gauff hit $8 million in winnings and $23 million in endorsements, which makes her the highest paid female athlete across all sports, which is so insane. She's so young and has achieved so much. I'm so proud of her.
But this story goes far beyond money. Coco Gauff didn't just rise, she exploded onto the global stage. One moment she was the young talent everyone believed might become great someday, and the next she was signing checks even tennis legends would envy. Her US Open victory wasn't just a championship moment, it was a business breakthrough. New Balance built entire campaigns around her, Rolex put $1 million spotlight on her wrist, and brands like Bose, UPS, Barilla, and Head rushed in all at once, competing to align themselves with her name. Because Coco isn't just a champion, she's a movement. Confident, socially aware, and deeply relatable, she connects with both hardcore tennis fans and casual viewers scrolling through social media.
So obviously, I think you've had so much success early on that we take for granted that you're only 21 years old. Where do you think you're at in terms of your career development, both on and off the court?
I think on court, I feel like so far away from my potential, which I guess if you asked me that before, I used to think, oh, like it's happening now, so I gotta capitalize the moment. But then I'm like looking at the tour and I'm seeing girls like really having their best results at like 25, 26. So I feel like in 4 years, I feel like I would be where I would like to be. But obviously that doesn't take away from everything I've done right now. But I think I'm just eager to improve and get better.
Kids look up to her, adults admire her, and investors see her as a long-term superstar. Her earning power has surged into the tens of millions per year, putting her ahead of major names like Iga Swiatek and Emma Raducanu, and even surpassing what Serena Williams earned in some seasons. And she's only 20 years old. This isn't her peak, it's just the beginning of what could become one of the most profitable careers in women's sports history.
At what point did you kind of realize that you had a gift, that you're better than everyone else, I guess, at that level, and maybe professional tennis would be something for you?
There was a few moments when I won Little Mo when I was 8 years old. It was like a international tournament. It was in New York City, and it was kids from all over the world coming to play that tournament. And so for me, it was like, oh, like I was just so used to playing people in my backyard. I was like, oh, maybe I actually have a shot. But I was still like only 8, so I didn't have any awareness. But I think when I won Junior French Open, I think I was 13 or 14, 13 when that happened. Final US, yeah, I was 13. I think that's when I realized, okay, a lot of people were winning junior slams and turning pro. So I felt like at that time I knew I would go pro, but it's no guarantee you're going to be successful or not.
Of course.
But here's the wild part. The higher Coco soared, the more the spotlight shifted. Suddenly, every magazine cover, marketing campaign, and viral headline featured one name in bold letters: Coco Gauff. And when one star dominates the sky, another inevitably feels the shadow. Someone else had worked just as hard, fought just as fiercely, and dominated tournaments with unmatched power, yet she was no longer the center of attention. That someone is Aryna Sabalenka. When Coco was officially named the richest female athlete in the world, fans couldn't help but wonder how Sabalenka took it, and that's where the story becomes far more interesting and personal. For Aryna Sabalenka, the past 2 seasons have been nothing short of a battle for dominance. She's been a powerhouse at the top of the rankings, bulldozing her way into Grand Slam finals, capturing an Australian Open title, and proving herself as one of the most fearsome competitors in the sport. She plays with raw strength and fiery intensity, leaving opponents overwhelmed by her power. She plays with raw strength, emotion, and a presence that demands attention. In her mind and in the eyes of many, she had earned the right to be the face of women's tennis. Then Coco arrived and rewrote the entire storyline. It wasn't just that Coco defeated her in one of the biggest matches of the year, the US Open final watched by millions. It was how the world reacted afterward. Instead of celebrating Sabalenka's incredible season, headlines, commercials, and fan hype swarmed around Coco, leaving Sabalenka's achievements feeling pushed aside and overshadowed by the bright new star who captured hearts in a single night. Oh, when the announcement dropped that Coco Gauff had become the richest female athlete in the world, earning more than any other woman in sports, it wasn't just news, it was a statement. A statement that Coco wasn't only winning titles, she was winning the battle for global attention, marketability, and influence. Sabalenka has never been shy about showing emotion, and fans have long noticed the tension whenever Coco's name comes up. The competitive fire in Aryna doesn't fade easily, and watching her rival rise this fast, this high, and this publicly cut deeper than any forehand. But this tension didn't start here, it began on one of the biggest nights of their careers, a moment that changed everything. The fire between Coco Gauff and Aryna Sabalenka didn't ignite overnight, it erupted. The rivalry truly ignited during the US Open final. Under the bright New York lights, Aryna Sabalenka entered as the unstoppable force, the number 2 seed, the favorite, the powerhouse everyone expected to finish the job. But Coco Gauff didn't just show up to compete, she showed up to take over. Point by point, the momentum shifted. The crowd grew louder for Coco, the pressure tightened around Sabalenka, and when the final shot sealed Coco's first Grand Slam title, the stadium erupted. Behind the scenes, Sabalenka's frustration boiled over in the locker room, where cameras captured a smashed racket, raw emotion, and a look that made it clear this wasn't just a loss, it felt like humiliation. Then came the press conference. Sabalenka tried to stay composed, but the tension was unmistakable. Subtle remarks about Coco's lucky defensive style, hints that the crowd played a role, and a forced smile all revealed a fire she couldn't extinguish. Meanwhile, Coco celebrated as the new face of American sports, laughing, dancing, hugging her family, and instantly becoming the viral sensation of the night. The contrast couldn't have been sharper. And it didn't stop when they left the arena. Fans seized on the moment and fueled the rivalry online. Debates exploded everywhere. Was Coco truly the better player, or did Sabalenka crack under pressure? Memes, comparisons, and non-stop commentary turned the matchup into something raw, personal, and far from finished. So when Coco's staggering wealth figures were announced months later, fans immediately connected the dots. They remembered the smashed racket, the strained smile, and how badly Sabalenka wanted that spotlight. This time, Coco hadn't just taken a Grand Slam, she had taken something even bigger. When the headline spread naming Coco Gauff the richest female athlete in the world, social media erupted, and attention instantly shifted to Aryna Sabalenka. Everyone wanted to know how Coco's biggest rival would respond. But what stood out most was the silence. Sabalenka didn't post congratulations, didn't acknowledge the news, and showed no visible reaction at all. For someone known for being bold and expressive, that silence spoke louder than words. Screenshots circulated of her ignoring Coco-related posts, sparking jokes, memes, and claims that she had been humbled on a global stage. Fans teased that Coco had beaten her not only under the US Open lights, but now in fame, influence, and financial dominance. Even though Sabalenka has earned millions herself, this moment clearly stung. Because in sports, it's not just about what you win, it's about the narrative the world builds around you. And suddenly, Coco Gauff wasn't just a champion anymore. She was a superstar. Whether Sabalenka liked it or not, the spotlight had shifted. The rivalry was no longer just about tennis, it had become a battle over status, power, and who the world sees as the true face of the game. And Coco's rise was no accident. Her brand was built to take over. Coco Gauff became more than just a tennis player the moment the world realized she could move people. She speaks with confidence far beyond her years, stands firmly for what she believes in, and carries herself with a level of charisma brands dream about. When Coco steps in front of a camera, she doesn't simply sell a product, she sells a feeling. She represents the future, young, bold, diverse, and undeniably American, thriving in the most global sport on the planet. That combination is priceless. Companies see her as the perfect story, a relatable kid who grew into a champion, a leader, and a role model without ever losing her authenticity. She dances with fans, cracks jokes in interviews, and never hesitates to call out injustice when she sees it. That's what sets her apart from most athletes. You're not just investing in her talent, you're investing in her influence. Her viral moments aren't accidental, they're the result of genuine connection. These moments aren't accidents, they're proof of a connection with the public that can't be manufactured. For brands, Coco Gauff isn't a risk, she's a guarantee. And while she continues stacking endorsement after endorsement, Aryna Sabalenka watches from across the net, fully understanding what it means. Coco isn't just outplaying opponents, she's outgrowing them. When the world chooses its next superstar, momentum becomes unstoppable, and Coco is quickly becoming the athlete companies build entire campaigns around. Sabalenka, despite all her success, is still fighting for that role, and the pressure keeps mounting. But Sabalenka's struggle isn't just about image. There's a deeper challenge she faces, one that has nothing to do with forehands or sponsorships. While Coco's rise feels like a celebration, Sabalenka's journey has been filled with obstacles the public rarely sees. She's one of the most powerful players in the world, yet she endures intense scrutiny that has little to do with her tennis. The political tensions surrounding her Belarusian identity have placed her in uncomfortable, high-pressure press conferences where headlines often matter more than the sport itself. She's been asked questions that would rattle even the toughest athletes, and every misinterpreted word becomes fuel for online criticism. Those emotional moments on court, the screams, the smashed rackets, the tears she tries to hide, aren't just passion. They're the result of a career judged by standards Coco simply doesn't have to face. When Sabalenka wins, she's labeled powerful. When she loses, she's called emotional. When she stays quiet, she's accused of hiding something. It's a never-ending battle between who she is and what the world expects her to be. So when Coco steps into the spotlight smiling, with the crowd behind her and the world celebrating her success, Sabalenka feels the weight of that contrast. It isn't jealousy, it's frustration. She knows how hard she's worked, how much she's sacrificed, and how badly she wants to be seen as the hero of her own story. Right now, though, the narrative belongs to someone else. And that kind of pressure can either ignite a dangerous fire or spark a powerful comeback. Whether fans love her or doubt her, one thing is clear: Sabalenka isn't the type to stay quiet for long. This rivalry is far from over. In fact, it's only just beginning. Coco Gauff may be holding the financial crown today, but Aryna Sabalenka isn't someone who lets a setback define her. Every time she's been knocked down, she's come back swinging harder, and next season she'll step onto the court with a new fire. Now it's not just about winning titles, it's about proving she deserves the same spotlight, the same opportunities, and the same admiration Coco is receiving. And Coco isn't slowing down for anyone. She knows the world has expectations, and she's ready to outgrow them just as quickly as they appear. She wants more Grand Slams, bigger partnerships, and a legacy that separates her from every player before her. With her influence rising by the day, Coco has the chance to build an empire, something even Serena Williams has said requires a truly special kind of greatness. That kind of greatness creates something special, a rivalry so intense that every match between them feels like a blockbuster event. Their energy, their history, and their relentless drive set the stage for a battle that could define the next decade of women's tennis. Every win will sting, every loss will ignite headlines, and every showdown will feel personal. It's the richest female athlete in the world versus the warrior determined to dethrone her, the perfect fuel for a new era of competition that fans live for. For now, one question hangs over the sport. Coco Gauff and Aryna Sabalenka represent two completely different paths to greatness, one rising with unstoppable momentum, the other fighting through every challenge thrown her way. That contrast is exactly what makes this rivalry so compelling. Coco now stands at the center of the sports world, the richest female athlete on the planet, backed by brands, fans, and the future of tennis itself. Sabalenka, meanwhile, carries the hunger, power, and fire needed to rewrite the storyline, more motivated than ever to reclaim the spotlight. This is no longer just about money or trophies. It's about pride. It's about legacy. It's about who will shape the narrative of women's tennis for years to come. And every time they step onto the court together, the entire world will be watching, waiting to see who rises and who gets humbled next. So what do you think? Is Coco Gauff destined to rule the sport for the next generation, or is Aryna Sabalenka preparing the ultimate revenge arc? Let us know in the comments, because this story is only just getting started.